What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bumpy Road to $10 million. This is the April 2026 portfolio update, 4 months into the year and 2 months into the Iran war. If you've been following the news, there was a ceasefire announcement on April 7th, and since then, markets have been on a tear. A minor point before we move on, we're doing today's update as of April 26th instead of April 30th because I won't be able to post this in early May. I didn't like the fact that the February update was posted so long after Feb 28, and so for April, I'd rather do this update a few days before month end than a week or two later. So there are 4 trading days left this month, and given the times we live in, markets can move materially higher or lower in these 4 days. So just keep this in mind. And as always, a friendly reminder that this video is not financial advice, and when investing, you can lose everything. So please always do your own research. So if you remember, as of last month, UPRO and SPXL were both down by over 16% each. However, since the ceasefire announcement, things have turned around completely, and at the end of April, our portfolio is at a yearly high. The SPY was up by 4.7% year to date, while UPRO and SPXL were up by just under 10% each. And if you look at the 1-month return since March 31st, UPRO and SPXL are up by a phenomenal 30%. And we'll discuss that a bit later. For the options, as we would expect, since the ETFs have skyrocketed, the option values have declined dramatically. Both put options were down by around 30%. But we don't really care about this given the puts are just insurance in our portfolio. They're a small amount of our portfolio, and we would expect them to go to zero in a good year anyway. Now, if we look at a hypothetical portfolio where we had invested $10,000 at the beginning of the year and added $1,000 on February 28th, this is what the portfolio would look like. UPRO and SPXL increased to about $6,000 each in value, whereas the put options are down to about $70 each. Overall, the portfolio value is $12,000, and this is before we do our April end trade, which we'll get to in a second. If we do a simple return calculation, what we have divided by what we invested, the year-to-date portfolio return is 9.1%, which 4 months into the year, we should be pretty happy with. And remember, every 2 months, we need to consistently allocate capital to our portfolio, and the next capital injection is due on April 30th, where we would allocate $1,000 in our example. So given the UPRO and SPXL prices as of April 30th, and assuming we invest $1,000, we would have bought 4 shares of UPRO and 2 shares of SPXL to add to our portfolio. Now, last thing for today. While at the start of the year, we certainly couldn't have predicted a large war breaking out, when investing for the long term, we need to mentally be prepared for everything. And the monthly changes in our portfolio value so far should give you a sense of why this series is called the Bumpy Road to $10 million. Just look at this table, which shows the monthly values of our hypothetical portfolio following the February 28th capital injection. From Feb 28 to March 31, our portfolio declined by 15%, which is a large decline by any standard. I know many finance professionals who wouldn't be able to tolerate a 15% annual decline, never mind monthly. But then look at what happens from March 31st to April 30th, or technically April 26th. There is a massive increase of almost 30% over the month. If you had panicked and sold in March, you really would have missed out on incredible gains. The 2-month February to April return was 10%, which looks great on its own. But in this instance, we needed to experience a 15% decline before seeing a 29% gain. And that's just how it goes in this game. Markets do not go up in a straight line. So I'm repeating what I said at the very beginning of this series. We are not investing in this strategy to minimize risk. We are swinging for the fences and shooting for life-changing money at an age well before retirement. And to get there, we will need to tolerate a lot of risk and a lot of volatility. But my hope and expectation is things will work out just fine in the long run. So that's it for today, guys. The next portfolio update will be at the end of May. We're certainly living in volatile times, and predicting where the markets are going to be on May 31st is a fool's errand. All we can do is position ourselves to take advantage of the fact that we think stocks are going to increase in the long run and not worry about short-term market movements. So hope that was interesting. Thanks for your time, and see you on the next one.